Hello everyone, this is Maha, your English instructor from tutoria.pk. I hope you all are doing good and are in great spirits. In today's video lecture, we are going to discuss book exercise for Unit 1, जिसका नाम है Responsibilities of Youth. Let's start the discussion of book exercise by discussing questions related to reading comprehension first. So our first question is, why does the Qaid stress on youth to be continuously vigilant? Answer. Qaid knew that if he wants to secure the future, he will have to motivate the youth of the state. Youth has advanced mindset regarding every notion and is more enthusiastic. He knew that the state was suffering from economic and social problems which only youth could fight by studying hard. According to Qaid, youth of that time was privileged because they had their own state to flourish in. He didn't want any risks, so he assigned duty to the youth that they should remain vigilant and look for dishonest and selfish people. Second question. What, according to the Qaid, is the prime responsibility of youth? Answer. According to Qaid, the prime responsibility of youth is to devote their attention to their studies because at that time state was suffering from social and economic problems, which could only be dealt by educated youth. Further, he said that youth now needs to work with a constructive spirit and not a militant spirit. He said it's youth's responsibility to stay aware from fifth columnist and from dishonest and selfish people. Third question. Having read the text of the Qaid's speech, what traits of character the Qaid wants to see in the educated youth? Answer. The traits of character the Qaid wanted to see in the educated youth include the youth paying their attention to their studies because at that time state was suffering from social and economic problems which could only be dealt by educated youth. Further, he said that youth now needs to work with a constructive spirit and not a militant spirit. He said it's youth's responsibility to stay aware from fifth columnist and from dishonest and selfish people. They should not look for government jobs only but should discover and try their luck in other new educational avenues as well. These were the traits Qaid wanted to see in his youth. Fourth question. What advice does the Qaid give to the youth about the choice of career? Answer. Qaid advised the youth to do not follow the rut of looking for government jobs as being just a well-equipped clerk is not the demand of state anymore. Moreover, it won't provide an individual with a handsome salary and benefits. Qaid advised that youth should get educated in technical fields like banking, commerce, trade, and law, etc. It would benefit the youth and the state as well. Fifth question. Having read the responsibilities of youth, what in your view could be the possible role of youth in crisis management of the country? Answer. Qaid in his speech mentioned the crisis which Pakistan faced at its infant stage, such as the rehabilitation of refugees, withholding of cash balances by India, not giving the due share of military equipment, and economic blockade. In the face of these crises and their management, the youth should devote their attention solely to their studies, as their education will help them to learn how to manage such calamities and succeed in the battle of life. Also, it is necessary for them to work as a united and disciplined people and should also work with a constructive spirit. Sixth question. Compare and contrast the youth of today with the ideal youth Qaid as described in his speech. Answer. Qaid mentioned in his speech that the youth's responsibility is to devote their attention to their studies because at that time state was suffering from social and economic problems which could only be dealt by educated youth. Further, he said that youth now needs to work with a constructive spirit and not a militant spirit. He said it's youth's responsibility to stay aware from fifth columnist and from dishonest and selfish people. They should not go after government jobs but try their luck in new educational avenues. Unfortunately, the youth of today is far away from the ideal youth. Our youth still goes after government jobs and are indifferent. They're easily exploited on the basis of their ethnic, linguistic, religious, and sectarian affiliations. They don't care that who in the state is being dishonest servant to the state. Today's youth is not selfless but selfish. Seventh question. The Qaid says, not only has Pakistan survived the shock of that upheaval, and the quote goes on and ends on then ever. Which upheaval is he talking about? Answer. In his speech, Qaid talked about the act of violence and the difficulties Pakistan faced at its creation, such as the Punjab and Delhi Holocaust. Thousands of men and women and children were mercilessly butchered and millions were uprooted from their homes. As a result, over 50 lakh refugees arrived in Pakistan. The care and rehabilitation of the refugees was a huge task. Guides said that such implications might well have destroyed a well-established state, but enemies could not fulfill their intentions and were disappointed. Not only Pakistan survived the shock of that upheaval, but also it emerged stronger, more chastened, and better equipped than ever. So we are on 8th question, which is the last question, and it is interpret and analyze the following statements from the speech. A is beware of the fifth columnist among ourselves. B is guard against and weed out selfish who only wish to exploit you so that they may swim. And C is hitherto you have been following the rut, the quote goes on, and all you think and hanker for is government service. Now I want you to get out of that rut and that mentality, especially now that we are in free Pakistan. So the answer to the A part is, a fifth columnist is a person who acts against the interest of a state, usually in favor of an enemy state. A fifth columnist exploits differences that exist among people. These differences may be ethnic, linguistic, religious, or sectarian. They use these differences to weaken a state, and Qaid warns students to beware of such people. The answer to B part is, the Qaid is warning against those people who may use ethnic, linguistic, religious, or sectarian affiliations of people to create differences among them. The interest of the state is that all people, irrespective of their ethnic, linguistic, religious, or sectarian affiliations, should live in harmony. Answer to C part is, the Qaid is referring to the old system of education and the system of government. Its purpose was to produce men of average abilities. After passing their bachelor's and master's, they looked for some jobs in the government sector. Thus, the purpose of the whole system of education and government was to produce and employ clerks. The Qaid said that students should come out of this rut. There is a vast scope in technical education. The state needs technically qualified people. Students should learn banking, commerce, trade, law, etc., which provide immense opportunities. So we are done with reading comprehension part. Thank you.